Hey, welcome to the Dino and Joe Show. My name is Dino. That is Joe,
Howdy.
partner. Um, and I am in a quandary right now.
Quandary. What can I do? What can I do to help your quandary?
I'm in one of those moments. So, I have a setup that I use to do this, right?
Mhm.
To podcasts and video and all that stuff, right?
Sure.
I have a light. My
Mhm.
beautiful wife got me. She encourages me to spend time with you.
Right. Same thing
by
with it. Like
by
she's
making
like,
sure I
bro,
have what I need for a
bro,
podcast.
do whatever
Oh,
you need.
are you guys recording something tonight? Please?
I can
And
watch
so,
whatever I want, do whatever I
right?
want with a
Drink
nice
my wine and you
wine.
leave me
Yeah.
alone and I can
Yeah.
watch my shows, my programs.
The
Um,
program.
and so I have a normal setup
Yes.
and I cannot handle when somebody messes with my setup.
Of
So
course.
I have a stream deck that I use. So it's a piece of equipment. It's got a bunch of buttons on it, and you can assign different things to buttons. I use it for timing and all these things because, it flashes me back to my radio days.
Sure.
And I use a hub for that to plug everything into because I have only a limited amount of inputs in my computer. And my 10-year-old son George, who visions himself as a YouTuber, and he does like live streams and stuff for
Mhm.
playing video games or whatever, and he borrows my stuff, even though we get him his own stuff.
Right.
And he has done something with my hub, and I can't find it. And I literally cannot find it. And it's driving me bananas.
You can't stop looking for it, can you?
No, and I'm in that moment now where I'm
Where
like,
you're
it's
looking
got to be
around.
here somewhere.
You're like,
And
I'm
I
still in the podcast, but like while I'm in the
totally
podcast, I might as well just
right.
see where it could conceivably
And
be.
you had those stubborn moments where I'm like, look, I should just let it go. I've got everything working that I need, right? I'm functional, but I'm like out of my sync now.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I had an interview
Keep talking. I'm
a
going to
few
look
months
around.
back. Yeah, exactly, right? I had an interview a few months back, and I have like I'm weird. I have a specific pen I love.
Yeah.
Very specific pen I love. It's this one right here. It writes smooth. I like to take notes in the interview. That way I can recall something to somebody when they say, we've done this, this, and this.
Sure.
It's a whole thing.
Good. That's a good practice.
It's
Absolutely.
a very good, and when I write
Yep.
things down, I remember it.
Right.
This pen is so great. I couldn't find it during that interview. Okay. So automatically, I had to use this pen, which is not this pen, in case you couldn't tell. Look, two separate
Right.
pens.
Right.
It threw me off my whole rhythm. I felt like the interview went like garbage. I didn't get the job, so clearly it must have. She was probably like, he seemed very distracted,
Yeah, I
as
wonder
if
if he
he
was
couldn't find
missing
it.
something, like his
But
pen.
all the time, like I will look everywhere in the middle of conference calls for work.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
my
yeah.
setup is not right,
Yeah.
you'll hear, because I'm moving things around to get it the right way,
Have,
right?
have, have you ever seen the sketch comedy troupe, The Kids in the Hall?
Oh, that,
Do you
by the
remember
way,
them?
one of my absolute favorite comedy troupes of all time.
A lot of people know the pun,
I'm crushing your head.
crushing your head, right? Do you remember the pen one where he's working and the guy takes his pen and like people do when you give somebody
Yeah,
your pen to use
yeah,
and they walk off with it. It's,
sure.
my pen, the one I do all my work with, and he like chases the person for his
Oh
pen
my
back,
God, I
and he just
don't
keeps
remember
yelling,
that.
my pen, the one I do all my work with. That's what I thought of right there when you're like, I can't find my pen.
That's
My
amazing.
favorite pen.
I
I've
don't
always remembered that.
don't
You don't remember that one?
I don't remember that one
I
somehow.
Yeah,
I
that's a really good one.
so
The
not to
Flying
do it
Pig was in that show. Like it was a really good show.
not to do an entire tangent, but one of my favorite things, other than I'm
This
crushing your
show's all
head.
about tangents. So
It's that's literally what it is. You go
literally,
from one extreme to another, but it's the I am the
the
eliminator.
Eliminator.
So
Yes.
he was a, I think it was handball, or maybe it was
Right.
a racquetball guy who basically just wears a mask. And
Yep.
there's this very clear like hierarchy of how to play like a bracket. And
Yeah.
he's like, I will destroy you because I am the eliminator. And he like barely wins every time. He's not even that good at, but it's funny. Anyways, um, but yes, I've had that happen to me more often than I care, and it is a fault of mine. Like Tiff will be like, do what you need to do. Forget that. I'll find it for you. I'm like, you don't know what I'm looking for. I have to find the thing myself. Otherwise, I don't feel like it's found. I feel like
Right.
somebody else found it for me. It's a problem. Yeah, so I've had that happen to me more often than I care to admit.
Yeah, that's the mood I'm in. And now I'm like, I literally want to go wake up a 10-year-old who has school tomorrow
Where was
and
it?
be like, "Where's my thing? What'd you do with it?"
So I don't know how are you? Would you call yourself an organized person?
No,
No.
I would
So
say I'm organized for work, but I am not at home.
so I don't know how to describe myself. I am organized mess.
Check.
So in my home, whether it was when I was living by myself, with girlfriends, with my parents, whatever, I would always have areas for things.
Sure.
Like for instance, on top of our kitchen, like we have sort of a raised up like breakfast bar area.
Hmm.
In one corner, I have a small tray that has all of the things that I use when I go out. My wallet, my
Yep.
pocket knife, my pens, my flashlight. There's some hand sanitizer there, all that different kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's over there. And I slowly put more things there than start off. So it starts off with this much, and then it's like,
Yeah.
a little bit more, a
Yeah.
little bit more, a little bit more. I have organized chaos everywhere,
Yeah.
and I know where everything is in that organized chaos. I could point if you wanted to know anything, I could tell you exactly how to get there. I know it 100%. But people clean, and they're like, "Here, let me organize this." And the organized chaos is
By
different.
people, you mean Tiff?
No, so God love her, she did that once, and then she learned my crazy neuroses and has never done it since. She's like, I moved it. I want you to put it back. Thank you. I would much rather you do that than you try to fix it. Past people have done that where they'll move this and this, and it's a specific way, and they do it the wrong way. And I'm like, well, throws off the whole thing. Now I got to figure out a whole new way to do it because that's not right. You've just tainted this whole area because I am that type of a person.
Tainted this entire
Well,
area.
it's not the way I
Like,
remember it. So I
let's
have
put.
to
We need
redo
to
it,
put police tape around this. Bring in CSI.
figure it out. So I take that losing things to a whole nother level because if somebody were to say, "Hey Joe, where is your red Sharpie S pen?"
Yeah.
I know it's in my little valet. It's the third pen in. There you go.
Oh
To the
no.
right of it is blue. To the left of it is black. Farther over is actually a thick Sharpie marker. To the left of that is my hand sanitizer. Like I know exactly where everything is, but I know when other people touch those things, it's not in the right area always. So that throws me off and it weirds me out. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't like
See,
it.
I can do that for work. Like like for work, I have to be organized because there's just so much stuff that I do. And then it's different topics coming from all different areas, right? So you have to be able to sort all that out. So I force myself to be, organized in that sense. But when I get to my everyday life,
Yeah.
my brain just takes a break. I have like just stuff everywhere.
Just stuff
Like,
everywhere.
yeah, I mean, I know where it's all at, and I put
Right.
things in certain spots, right? So like, if I need to find my keys, it's in one of three places. If I need
Right.
to find my wallet, it's one of three places. It's only
Yep.
three places I'll ever put it, right?
Correct.
But like if you looked at my desk right now, it's not a good sign. Uh, but that's also because I got a 10-year-old and 6-year-old who like to come in and use my office on weekends, and then that just all goes to hell. And then
Right.
and then
Right.
like I spend the rest of the week trying to like get it
Find
back
the
to the
hub.
way I want it to be. Right.
Yeah.
Which one day I'll find my hub and I'll feel a lot better about that. But yeah, I'm still searching for it. So
So this is kind of a callback to our last episode. My dad said he hated when I just left my single fork in there after
yes.
eating a delicious meal.
Hmm.
When you cook dinner,
Yeah.
like after you're done, do you
Yeah.
wash dishes as you go, or do you just leave it all to the end and then do it later on at the end of the day or the next day?
So I would tell you that I wash everything as I put it in the sink so that it makes loading the dishwasher easier.
There you go. See, now here's the thing. The funniest thing in the world. My parents and I never really used our dishwasher that much. We had one. I've never not had a dishwasher in any place that I've ever lived. And I have used it so infrequently. The
Really?
only time we use it right now is during the holidays. When we have people, when we used to use it was when we would have
Yeah.
parties and
Right.
lots of people. Like I'm not hand washing all that crap. Like we'll just throw it
Right.
in the
Right.
dishwasher and we'll be fine. As soon as I'm done eating, I take my dishes over. I wash the dish. I wash the silverware. I wash the cup. I put it down, and we're done. That's the rule my girlfriend and I have.
Well,
I'm not a cook. She is
yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
delicious. She cooks. I wash the dishes. That's our deal. Like that's how it works. So I wash them as I go because it's easier for me. I hate a dish filled with this is literally, my parents are listening and my dad and mom were like you is full circle. But yeah, I hate it.
Right.
It makes my skin crawl. Going to sleep with it, I'm like, I'm gonna have to wash those dishes. They're gonna be crusty and gross. If we had like potatoes or chicken
Yeah.
with something, it's just
Oh,
oof,
I never leave
can't
them
do
overnight. No, no,
can't.
no.
Yeah,
No.
some people do that, and I'm like, you
No,
are
I
some.
understand that. I
Yeah, I don't do
understand.
it.
Now, I get it too because there's only 2 of you.
Yes.
So, how many dishes are you dirtying?
2 plates, 2 forks, 2
Yeah.
cups. I
Yeah,
could do
of
that
course.
easy. Now, if I was in
That's
your situation, that's a dishwasher every
yeah.
night without
Yeah.
question.
But I run the dishwasher at night. Then I run it before I go to bed. And then because the other thing too is my wife makes coffee every day.
Okay.
Every day.
Mhm.
And so try and always wash the coffee pot so that it's
Of
ready to
course.
go for the next day. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and then she won't let me leave food. But I mean, if that were the case, like that's not happening in my house anyway. But and ketchup,
Right.
for whatever reason, ketchup is the one thing that like if it got left on a plate, like she just that's the grossest thing in the world to my wife.
I You know what's really hard to get out of a pan? Broccoli. If you let that sit too long,
Oof.
that's so difficult to get out of there. And we love broccoli in this house. That's one of
Yeah.
our favorite vegetables. We put it with or on almost everything. So
Yep.
if I don't get to that like immediately, nothing but problems.
Yeah. That's my
Nothing but
youngest
struggle.
son's favorite food is broccoli. Oh yeah. Not joking. My
Really?
6-year-old. Yeah.
That's
Henry. Yeah. His favorite
strange.
food is broccoli.
I did
He
not
loves
start
broccoli.
eating broccoli until I was like 30 years old.
Oh, I mean, in fact, it's weird because we we will have candy from like say Halloween
Hmm?
or Easter or Christmas even, right? And we'll have a lot of it, and my kids don't eat it. It ends up my
What?
wife takes it to her work to
Yeah.
give to the people that she works with
Okay.
because
That's gross.
literally we'll have a tub of candy, like yay big, whatever, and it'll sit there. And they
That
don't
blows my
ask
mind.
for it, they don't want it, they don't even think about it. Like, they literally don't snack on, like, that kinda stuff.
That's crazy.
I bought ice cream, which you normally don't get because we normally don't eat it,
True.
but we're in the grocery store, the boys wanted ice cream, like, ice cream would be great," right? So, that night, we had a scoop of ice cream each, and that ice cream hasn't been touched since. It just still sitting in the freezer. But because they don't have that eating habit, like, and I really can't say that we focused in on, "Oh, we're gonna make sure that," you do
Right.
when you have kids, you always say, "Oh, they're gonna always eat vegetables," blah, blah, blah. You have all
Right.
these things that are these, like, and then the world hits and all they wanna eat is McDonald's, right?
Right.
Which mine do, like, like, if it's a chicken nugget, it is the greatest food item ever made. But for whatever reason, like they don't do candy. Like I feel bad. We'll have a cake for like a birthday, and
Right.
2 days later, no one's touching the cake. Like we just don't snack like that. It's.
When I was a kid, I would definitely well, let's be honest, like until I was probably honestly 30, I didn't like I don't like vegetables. I still don't love them.
Right.
Tiff's a sweetheart and she knows that I hate vegetables, like even broccoli, but she puts a little bit of lemon juice on top of it,
Yeah.
a little bit of oil and a little bit of Parmesan,
Yeah.
and then I will actually eat it. So she knows how to sneak in the healthy stuff for
Yeah.
me. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would be like, no, 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 no,
My mom
no,
and
thank
dad used to do that. My dad will not eat onions,
you. Yeah,
and so my mom makes everything. Like my dad, I don't think my dad can cook anything. Well, actually, I
yeah.
take that back. My dad makes cocoa in the morning.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only thing he's
That's it.
ever made in his life. It was
She
always like mom always cooked, so if there was a night mom wasn't at home, we
right.
knew we were eating out because dad doesn't know how to cook.
Does
Like, he
not a cook.
doesn't know how. And, but my mom will sneak onions in, she chops them really fine,
Yeah.
and then sneaks onions in, and he'll be like, "Are there onions in this?" And she's like, "No." He'll never know, and he never knows.
She
He never eats it, he never knows.
she is super sneaky like that too because I don't like onion either. And she now does shallot, which
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about things, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure shallot's just a different type of onion. And she will always sneak things in on me, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, this is so good."
Yeah.
That's so good. What did you put in this? And she's like, you'll never guess. It's like, oh my God, I can't eat this anymore. It's got onion in it. I can't do this. She's sneaky like
That's
that.
hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So wait till she sneaks poison in there, and then
I told her,
oh, no.
I was like, I feel like one day you're just gonna be like, a little bit of arsenic, and there
And
you go.
enough of
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
It's the Dino and Joe Show. Welcome back to the Dino and Joe Show. This is Dino. That is Joe.
Tip of the morning to you.
Tip of the morning?
Mhm. Isn't that what it
You
is?
just did you just not just tip your cap and add top of the morning together to come up with tip of the
It's
morning?
top of the morning?
Top of the morning to you, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
Not,
tip of the because they
no,
tip the cap.
there's no tip of the morning.
Well, I have learned something after 35 years I've been saying
Holy
wrong.
cow.
Nobody has ever
Holy
corrected me either.
cow. Really?
Yup.
Wow.
So that was a fun experience for both of us, I think.
It's top of the morning. Wow.
Who just wishes somebody a single top of the morning?
All right. So we're gonna continue on because I want to talk about something
Yeah.
that has become like big. You know how those things you do that suddenly become like every year you've got to do better.
Yes.
And for me, it is Halloween costumes with my kids.
Okay.
Now, what was the
Sure.
best Halloween costume you had as a kid?
Best.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting word. I'm gonna go with hospital patient
Okay.
because it won me a $100 gift card in my
Attaboy.
seventh grade costume contest. Like
Okay.
I went all out. So my grandparents were in and out of the hospital a lot that year,
Okay.
and I was there all the time, and I would sneakily perhaps take some bandages or like a gown and things like that, and it would all be realistic things because it'd be things I would swipe from a hospital,
You
and I would
stole
make a
from a
I did.
hospital.
Now, see, I don't like I use things to create a costume from a hospital. The word
Okay.
you used has a very negative connotation.
Yeah, yeah, it does. So, I love Halloween.
Yeah, it's a good time of
I
the year.
I love Halloween. I love Christmas. I love St. Patrick's Day. Those are my big ones, right? And I love the fact that Halloween, I have out in front of my house right now currently
Mhm.
fake tombstones that I've made, a seven
Okay,
foot tall Jack
you do the
Skellington.
whole thing.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, the whole bit,
okay,
right? I love it.
yes.
I love it. And one of the things that has happened is having kids. I've been able. So this starts when I went back, and my son 1 year wanted to be a stormtrooper for Halloween.
Sure,
That's what he wanted to be,
it's
stormtrooper.
a great costume.
And I'm like, awesome. So I went out and I looked at kids' costumes, and they are horrible.
They're not good.
They're just
Very
horrible. Like
limited, or they
cheap.
look terrible. Yeah,
Right, exactly. And I'm like, you got to be able to do better, right? I mean, there's so many cool things out there for kids, especially when it comes to like Star Wars or whatever. And we happened to be walking through I don't even remember what, it might have been Toys R Us at the time that Toys R Us still existed. And there was this Jakks Pacific 103-inch Stormtrooper.
Mhm.
And I looked at it, and I looked at my oldest son at the time, who was fairly young, and I said, "That'll fit you." So I bought it and found out that somebody else had done this already and hollowed it out
Mhm.
and made it into a stormtrooper costume for my son. And this is what he looked like that year.
That is, oh my God, that
So,
is it's
yeah,
pull it back a little bit. There we go. Now we can focus. Okay. For those of you who might be listening via
yeah,
your local podcast,
yeah,
imagine what a real stormtrooper looks like, and that's what it is. But in
yeah,
in half size because it is a child. And
yeah,
for those of you who don't know, stormtroopers are from Star Wars. They are like the protectors of
yeah.
the Imperial Empire. They're the guys in
They're the bad
the
guys.
white. Yeah, they're the bad guys who
Yep.
can't really shoot for anything. But that is an
So
incredibly accurate.
that started me down this path of every year the costumes have to be really good,
Well, you
and I
have to
can't
outdo yourself heavy that year.
continue down the kid costume thing, right?
Yeah.
Just can't. So, the next year, I think my son wanted to be Indiana Jones. So, not only does he have the actual real Indiana Jones hat and the real Indiana Jones whip, I went out and found the actual shirt that they made for the movie. I found like he has the whole bit, right?
It's so
So
dedicated.
now I have two kids. So last year they decide because somehow my kids got into uh, electronic music.
Mhm.
My youngest wanted to be Marshmallow, and my oldest wanted to be Dead Mouse. So
Okay.
that ended up looking like this.
Oh, hold it back a little bit. There you go. Oh my God. Oh my God. Again, like,
That's a real that's
what?
a real Dead Mouse hat. Yeah.
Oh,
The eyes lit up, the whole bit, right? So, and there's my wife who's, graciously in every picture. So, yeah, so
that's ridiculous. That's
that's
oh,
my
that's not
last.
dedication. That is I don't know if there's an English word for that. How because that's cool. Like I would like throw a sheet over myself and be like,
Oh
"Ooh,
yeah.
I'm a
Yeah, of
ghost."
course. We all did that, right? So this year they want to be because of their size difference, because my
Oh
10-year-old
no.
is so much taller than
Sure.
my 6-year-old. George is going to be Luigi and Henry is going to be Mario.
Mario. That's
So
that's
I did not go out and find a costume that I was happy with.
right, of course.
So I went out and found them the actual mascot company that makes mascots.
Yes.
And I haven't gotten them yet, because now we're being like the stormtrooper thing I could do, right?
Mhm.
Like I could do the work because I had everything. I just had to,
Right.
like, I literally had to like take out all the inner workings,
Right.
strip it down, make it fit him, right? That is something I could do. But now we're into like sewing and all the stuff
Right.
that I
A
can't
little
do.
bit beyond your capability.
Yeah, which by the way, there's tons of like if you want to make a dead mouse helmet, by the way, there's tons of places online that will tell you how to do it. Yeah, it's
The
incredible.
internet, crazy place. What a
Incredible.
time to be alive.
But this sewing stuff, I don't have a sewing machine. I can't do like that. So now we're to a level of different. But um, so I'll have to update you when we have them and
Please
we can see
do.
what they look like. But yes, so like I just wonder, like, you don't have kids, right? So
Right.
like, what is it like? Do you still like if the world were normal and we
Mhm.
were having parties, would you have a Halloween party? Would you go all
Yes.
out on the costumes,
Yes.
that kind of thing?
So when I was younger, like I said, my mom would definitely encourage me, but I was like, oh, whatever. Like I would do simpler things that I knew I could do, and it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Once I got older, high school, college, we did some parties. I did a
Yeah.
couple things. So I love The Office. I went as Andy Bernard. Everybody, for some reason, thought I was Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop. So I would keep for the first few
It's
hours,
not a
and
tumor.
so I was in college, and I was at Illinois State University with some friends, and they'd be like, "Oh, Kindergarten Cop," and I was like, "No, I'm Andy Bernard from The Office," and they're like, "What?" So eventually, I lied. I just changed it. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not a tumor.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy, and what does he do?" Like I literally changed my costume because I got tired of telling everybody what I actually was, and they just thought I was this anyway.
That's the
That's a
best.
true story too, which is a very sad one. Um, but yeah, I would do stuff like that. For instance, this year, Tiff and I, so we have some friends that we're gonna see
Yeah.
for like a little get together,
Yeah.
and we were trying to figure out what do we want to do for Halloween.
Right.
We want to try to figure it out.
Right.
And we have a bunch of movies, but like Tiff doesn't go. She doesn't cut the work in half. She doesn't
Yeah.
like take the easy way out. She goes in. Otherwise, she doesn't do it.
Right.
We
That's the way you should be.
Right. I agree, but like she goes so much more in depth that I'm like, this is okay. Like this is good. And she's like,
Right.
I don't need good. I need great. So we're not 100% sure what we're doing it this year, but I will make sure I inform you because
Oh yeah.
I will make sure I let you know once that has been selected and done.
Have
I
you
will
done
try to picture the pictures.
so do you do individual costumes or do you do couples costumes?
See, now this is the thing. Like this is going to be the first year we've really done it together.
Okay.
Usually we'll do individual
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
We'll either go to separate peaceful houses or whatever. Like we'll do something separate. This year,
Right.
thinking about doing like a collaboration, a collab, as they say
A
now.
collab. Yeah. Excellent.
So we want it to be something good. We have some pretty good ideas, so I think it'll be very promising.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I love Halloween. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a
Mm.
question. Again,
Okay.
I'm tangent filled these last few episodes. Is The Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
That is a Halloween movie.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
That's why it's the Nightmare Before Christmas. Yes, it includes Christmas, but also has Easter in there. And
Oh, uh, this is tied to this tangent.
yes,
Okay, you know the big song everybody knows. This is Halloween,
this is Halloween.
right?
Yeah.
This is
Yep.
Halloween. Okay, so I want you to fast forward in the movie to your head
Uh-huh.
to the part where the vampires are singing, right?
Yes.
And the
Yep.
words they sing are, "In this town,
Yes.
hold on. In this town we call home. Everybody hails to the pumpkin." What's the word? What's the last part of the lyric? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, so let's break this down. In this town we call home,
Yes.
everybody hails to the what I have sung since I first saw the movie in the 90s,
Yeah.
throne. In this town we call home, everybody hail to the pumpkin throne. That makes
Okay.
sense. You hail
Sure.
to the throne. Recently, my beautiful, wonderful girlfriend, who is crazy about Disney, informed me I was singing it wrong. And I said, "No, I'm not. You're wrong. Period." Like I think I know. I
Putting my
looked it
foot
up.
down.
I looked it up. In
Yeah.
this town we call home, everybody hail to the pumpkin song. That
No.
doesn't even rhyme. Danny Elfman, what the heck are you
What?
doing?
Right?
Oingo Boingo is rolling over in their grit. Yes, it is everybody hail to the pumpkin song. Absolutely ridiculous.
Really?
I refuse to sing that. I'm not going to sing that. I always sing everybody hail to the pumpkin throne because
I like the
who hails
fact.
to a song? You
Right.
hail to the throne.
I like the fact that you put your foot down, and
Oh, I was like,
I
nope,
was
you're
I'm going
no.
all in right here,
Because I'm like,
right now.
because my thought was there's no other word that makes sense there.
Even though you
That
had no
rhymes.
knowledge, no proof.
No, but what do you need proof? It's logic. You saw me last episode or a few episodes back where I broke down my stream of consciousness into how I got something.
Yeah.
In this town, we call home throne. Those rhyme. Home song. What? What?
It's
Everybody hail to the
artistic
pumpkin
liberal.
song. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
is crazy. I never knew
I
that.
was I was beside myself for
And
the
I
rest
love
of the
that
movie.
movie.
That's such a
I
great
love it. I
such
love that movie. I actually show it on the I use a projector and show it on my garage door for Halloween trick or
That's
treat.
awesome.
Like I said, I have a seven
You
foot
really, you really go all out for Halloween.
off.
I
Wait,
love that.
well, wait till the Christmas one. My wife was out front talking to a neighbor, and I walk out because I wanted to water one of the plants on my porch, and she
Yeah.
goes, "Honey, I'm trying to figure out all your competition for Christmas lights." And I literally responded with,
What
"There's
competition?
competition?"
Yeah. So
Because my belief is if you
yeah,
do not have the Clark Griswold home
yes.
or, for um, Christmas vacation, like if your
Mhm.
house doesn't look like that, you are
Right.
doing a disservice to the community.
So here's the thing. That is my absolute favorite movie of all time for Christmas. Love it. Don't get better.
Yeah,
Um, my parents used to be almost to that level, like pretty
yeah,
darn close.
yeah,
Like they went all out, and then I met Tiff's parents. Her dad was the creative designer,
yeah,
was a creative designer and a creative director and artist. Like he would go to photo shoots around the world
yeah,
to like get
yeah.
stuff done. Like I am embarrassed when we used to go to their family's Christmas parties
Yeah,
in Indiana. We would spend the weekend there
yeah,
and they would have crafts. They're big again. They're very artistic people.
sure.
Crafts make sense. So I'm garbage at them. I'm terrible. I can't make a popsicle snowman. I'm terrible. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going into this with an open mind. We need the first year. I think we made ornaments that were out
Yeah,
of wood. You
yeah,
could choose from all these pre-made pieces of wood, and
yep.
you take pieces of newspaper and you just shellac it on there with like Mod Podge.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
So I'm like, I can make that work.
Right.
Well, I'm just taking paper and I do it, and I'm like, huh, not too shabby. And I look around, this entire family is uh beyond artistically gifted. Like Tiffany, she made our logo.
Yeah, she does our
Okay.
logos. Absolutely.
So I mean, okay, like good,
Right.
very
Right.
good. She went to school for art.
Yeah.
Her dad was a creative director and artist for a big company. Like
Yeah.
they know their way around art and creativity.
Right.
I do not have that. I don't have an
No.
iota of it. What the next year they made birdhouses with birds. And it wasn't, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't a birdhouse. It was a clay pot. It was like one
Yeah.
of those little terracotta pots that was about
Yeah.
that big. And you
Yeah.
could just put the bird in and they gave it embarrassing. And I was like, you know what, guys, I don't really feel comfortable doing this anymore. They're like, no, we'll help you. It still looks like,
Right.
oh, so yeah, they do it,
Yeah.
they
You
do it Clark Griswold level.
you wait till we get to a Christmas episode.
I'm
Mm,
excited. No,
yeah.
now I'm
Yeah.
honestly
I'm
looking
all
forward
about it.
because
I've
that's
added. I add every year. Yeah.
you add every year.
I
Okay,
add to what I put out every
that's
year.
crazy.
Yes.
That's nuts
Yes. We'll
because
talk about my wife trying to find reindeer for me one year. Yeah. So, okay, wait. So Halloween,
yes, keep going.
favorite Halloween candy, go.
Favorite Halloween candy?
Yes.
Oh, literally any sort of
You
chocolate
say,
bar.
I was gonna say, if you say candy corn
Oh,
or
Lewis
pennies,
Black. Lewis Black makes the joke that all candy corn is from 1912 or something like that because
yes.
it's disgusting. It's
Yeah.
not changed since the turn of the century. It's disgusting.
I don't know why it's dads that eat candy corn and black licorice.
Oh, see, both
Why
of
is
those
that?
immediately give me a visceral reaction. They're disgusting. Both of those things, candy corn, excuse me, and black licorice,
Yeah. For me,
horrid.
my favorite Snickers bar. I
So
love Snickers.
it's funny that you said that because I was trying to land on one and I was thinking
Yeah.
Snickers, but I was like, I don't want to be unfair. I enjoy a Milky Way because
Mm,
sometimes I'm not in the mood for
mm.
a
No.
peanut. Maybe I want a little bit of caramel in there too, or caramel and nougat.
I don't know what nougat is, but that's no. No.
It's the inner workings of like a Three
No.
Musketeer. I love Three Musketeer.
Nougat is the hot dog of candy bars, right? You
What's
don't
wrong with
really know
hot
what
dog?
you don't really know what's
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
who cares?
It's
That's
just
fine.
in there.
It tastes good.
No, I will tell you the close second for me is the Reese's peanut butter cup.
Okay, I need to pause for a second and
Yes,
have a very serious
because it's
conversation with you.
Reese's. I
Yeah.
know. I know, and it
People who
drives you nuts.
say
I love it.
Reese's
I
Pieces
I so
make
did
me
that.
want to rip my eyeballs out of
I
my head.
know. We
It's
talked about this.
Reese's Pieces. It's
Yeah.
Reese's. It's
Yep.
possessive.
I did it just for you. Because I knew that would send
Uh,
you over the edge.
I can't.
Uh,
Tiff and I have
yeah.
conversations about that because she says Reese's Pieces as well. Thank God. Otherwise,
Yeah.
this relationship would be over. We'd be done. I cannot live with somebody who says Reese's Pieces or Reese's Pieces. Pieces isn't a word. Okay, it's Pisces at that point. Now you
Uh,
got me all worked up. Now I'm
I
all worked
know.
up. With this.
That's just part of my job. That's what I love to do.
You
Set
were
you
doing
over.
well.
You know what? If you're on the edge, I'm gonna give you a little push. Just from behind, a little gentle tap. Oh, that's my favorite.
What
Oh,
else? What else? What else related to Halloween do you like?
well,
So,
Halloween movie we know, right? So do you do the whole like? Do you like scary movies? Because
so
my wife and I were talking about this just actually tonight, right? She was saying how people were talking about going back and watching all the Halloweens and, because
yeah,
now with streaming, like they're all available, right? Or
yeah.
going back and watching like all the Nightmare on Elm
Mhm,
Streets or whatever.
mhm.
I don't like any of those movies. Never liked them. Never was a fan. I always
They're
thought they're
fine.
stupid. Like the whole like Freddy Krueger thing made me laugh because I'm like, nothing can invade your dream. Like it's just
Right.
so far fetched. Mike Myers has died a billion times at this point.
She literally
Can
cut
we
his head off in one, and he came
Right.
back. So
Can
that's
we just
dedication.
please, at this point, like realize like it's just gone too long. It's time for a new premise with a new idea.
Tiff
Yeah.
enjoys horror movies, and I don't mind them. I think they're whatever. I'll watch them. That's fine. It is what it is. Like I don't find the boo or like the killers coming
Yep.
after you movies that scary. The
Right.
ones that get me are the psychological ones.
Yeah.
That's the one where I'm like, well, all right,
Like
let's what's the psychological one that was really good?
The Ring.
Insidious. Not The Ring. Well, I mean The Ring kind of, well, I was also a
I don't
young
know.
kid and I was dumb, but no, Insidious. Have you ever seen Insidious?
No.
It's one of those where it gets in here. Like, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
just like little things that like
Mm.
I don't know. It makes me think and I'm laying in bed and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to sleep. And then I think like, well, I guess I'm up tonight, so
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
What's the other one? Final Destination. Isn't that one of them?
Final Destination.
You know.
Not those. Those are I actually do enjoy those movies.
Oh,
I don't
really?
mind them. I think it's fun. I think it's a
Hmm.
fun type of movie.
I'm trying to think. I think the is it the Geico commercial that has the people trying to escape from like the horror movie thing,
Yep,
and they're like,
yep, I think
let's get
so.
in the running
Yeah.
car. It's like, don't be stupid. I was like,
Every
yep,
trope in movies.
yes.
The one movie that that's very right next to Nightmare Before Christmas, it's also Disney, Hocus Pocus. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker. I enjoy
Oh
that
yeah,
movie.
we watched that last year with the boys.
Mm.
Yeah, my wife loves that movie.
I will also follow that up with
Notice what
Halloween Town.
notice what I said there. My wife loves that
My
movie.
wife, yes, exactly. Well, Halloween Town. Have you ever seen that? That's
No,
another.
I have no idea what that
I
is.
don't know if that's a Disney movie. So, it's a movie I had never seen before, but Tiff really enjoys it.
Yeah.
It's a movie about how this woman comes from a line of witches, and I think it was Cloris Leachman is her grandmother, and trying to teach her how to be a witch, and she doesn't know, and all. It's actually there's a couple of them. Kimberly J. Brown. It's a pretty good movie.
You've so wandered off the path of Halloween movies at this
I'm so
point.
sorry.
You've gone
This
to the
is.
Disney side of
I
Halloween
mean,
movies.
this is we're Disney fans in this house. This is how it works.
Have you seen the new Muppets?
New I haven't
There's
actually.
a new Muppets and the Haunted Mansion movie
Oh,
that Disney just did.
okay. I need to take a pause for a second.
Yeah.
So I do this from my little office space, and I Tiff Godlover gives me my space,
Yeah.
to do this, right?
Yeah.
But she's through a door over there in our bedroom. And I incorrectly stated that Cloris Leachman was the grandmother. Again, I watched this movie once.
Right.
Once. I'm so sorry.
You've
She
been
texted
corrected.
me, Debbie Reynolds, how dare you? It was Debbie Reynolds who's the grandmother. I apologize. So my bad. Yeah, because I'm sure somebody in the comments of this is going to be lighting
Right.
me up for saying it was Cloris Leachman. So thank you for that. That was
We're not
and
taking
it was in
credit.
all caps too, so you know she was serious.
Yes. Yes. She was letting you know. Well, I hope you sleep well tonight.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. It's the Dino and Joe Show.